Can I ask you a question that I think may come off as insensitive, but I think it's
and before you do, I just want to say this would be a very different conversation were she not doing active professional interventions on all of this.
Yeah.
She's doing the care she needs to do to make this better.
I am very proud of you that you're doing all that stuff. I think that's great.
Yeah. So what's your question?
Is it not at least somewhat my place to worry that, with all that, with like, the problems that you have, that you're working on, and that we all understand, and is it not inappropriate for me to worry about my brother-in-law being in a relationship with her?
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to know the details of what, how bad it's gotten between them. That's really his decision, right? I mean, she is doing active interventions. I mean,
Moses
maybe
is nodding. Yes.
Who is?
Yeah, he's co-signing.
Yeah,
he's here, by the way.
Okay, but Trish, do you guys do anything together therapeutically?
We haven't, and it's more just because I do talk a lot about like childhood trauma that I don't talk about with anybody, not even on my YouTube. So I kind of just don't want him to know everything, like because a lot of my parents, like both my parents, don't really know all of it. So it's just like something I don't want him to know right now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Then he should see a therapist as well. So he, again, because boundaries are really goofy, he needs to get some clarity about that. Yeah. He needs to understand where he's at and where, what's you, what's him. You understand how that gets kind of blurry, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's
So he should see somebody too, and then proceed. But treatment works, guys.
That's the other issue with Ethan, like him being like, should I be concerned? I mean, his brother-in-law is 43. You know what I mean? 43, and it's like no matter. Like the thing is like the reality of the situation is like he's here with me every week. Like we're always together all the time. It's like why? And from the beginning, even if it was a joke or not on the podcast, he's like, I don't approve of this. They should tell us what they're doing. And then
I never said I didn't approve.
But what
happened was that he.
What had happened?
You have to own this. Okay, we did a show on the podcast called The Bachelor, which we've done before, where we set up somebody and we have content. The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And so Trisha was the Bachelorette, and they started flirting.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Trisha, don't. You're okay. You're starting to sink on us. We're losing you.
I'm okay. I really am. It's just a lot happening with like the look and then you and then the guest and then all this right now.
No, I know. And don't let it depress you. It's all good. It's all good.
I'm not.
Okay.
I feel good
talking
about it.
Hold on. Look what's sitting across from you.
Make sure my nips are out.
Right.
Stupid.
Hang on.
Stay in the moment. Okay, here we go. So finish up.
Okay.
I just saw you sinking there. I didn't want that to happen.
When she adjusts her blouse, because there's fake nips here. You're gonna have to blur that. You're gonna have to blur that, Dad. I asked if she adjusting her dress. It's like right above your nip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you want to show as much cleavage as possible without the titty.
Ethan also once told me I had the worst boob job ever. So.
But that didn't offend you, did it?
The thing is like. Yes and no. Like, that's our relationship. I know you're joking. It's like love. I'm fine with you doing it. But at the same time, it is offensive. So it's like when I say something like offensive, like, it's like, whoa.
Well,
but like,
no. You can tell me whatever you want. It's just the pill thing that I found curious.
Okay. And now
that was the only time.
You guys need to be able to offend each other to do this show.
And I love it. Like, I love when people make jokes.
And I was okay with her saying it, Dr. Drew. If you recall, I said, I'm fine. I just find it curious.
You didn't say that. You're like, wow, you're weaponizing right now. This is what I'm concerned about Moses.
Yeah,
like,
I said that in addition to all the other things I just said.
Okay.
But anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to when they started dating.
Okay.
They started dating, and Moses at first was saying he was just doing it for the show. He thought it would be entertaining for the show, okay? This has all been said, so I don't think I'm hurting anyone's feelings.
No, you're fine.
And so...
I don't believe that necessarily, but go ahead.
Right.
You don't believe what he said or what I'm saying?
What he said just doing it for the show.
Okay, anyway, he said that he's just... What?
No, he's saying he's saying...
Well, anyway, they were started posting these pictures. This happened over the course of a few weeks. And every time we see Moses a lot. It's my wife's brother. And he says, oh, it's nothing. We're just hanging out, yada, yada, yada. And... this lash is all in my eye.
Oh my God.
And see what they put up with?
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And so he was being deceptive to us. And so we didn't know what was happening. And it's not that I disapproved. It's just that we were having the show with Trisha and seeing Moses all the time. And they were being deceptive to us. And maybe they felt like they didn't want to be judged by us and all that. And I get it.
Yeah.
But that was the reason why I never said I disapproved. I just thought it was weird that you guys were like sneaking around and not telling us what was going on and lying to us.
You say, I disavowed this. That's exactly what you said. That's your quote. Exactly.
Well, I was probably, being...
What's a joke and what's not? You can't just say, oh, that was a joke.
I have always and actively said that I approve, I don't have a problem, I just don't like the deception.
But we were just starting to date. Like, what are we supposed to be? Like, we're boyfriend, girlfriend? Like, we didn't even know.
It was really Moses' fault. I don't blame you on that one. Moses was very deceptive.
Bottom line, why is it your concern even now? You're like, should I be concerned for Moses?
Well, we were doing a show.
Because she has a mental health issue.
If there was no show, I wouldn't care.
Right now we're doing a show, and you're like, she has a mental health issue.
We're doing a dating show with you.
Right now in this moment, you just said, should I be concerned for my brother-in-law because I have issues with my mental health? It's
you know what?
It's not your
It was
concern.
insensitive, and I think Dr. Drew had a really good response that I agree with, and it is Moses' choice, and I support his choice.
And he has to keep up with you, is what I'm saying. He's got to be in his own treatment because, I mean, because you're going to change, and
which
this
you're not
relationship's going to work.
Moses, and you don't believe in therapy, do you? We're doing just fine. He says they're doing just fine. In response to, does he believe in therapy?
Interesting. Maybe a little Al-Anon for Moses.
What did you say?
Maybe a little Al-Anon. What do you think, Trisha?
A what anon?
Al-Anon.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
It's for people that are involved with people that have used substances.
Oh, okay.
And it's it's to give some support and get some clarity on what they're feeling.
I don't think Moses would ever do that.
It doesn't sound like it.
Okay, let's not talk about him though. And also, and for the record, my parents also are not about, you know what I mean? My mom more so, but like my dad's not about therapy. So I go on these alone. When I was I've had other issues with addiction, and like I went on my own. When I was in a mental hospital, I was on my own. No one, my mom came to see me, but I didn't.
Thank God you're doing this.
Yeah,
right?
but I'm usually alone with it, and that's why I'm like, it's okay. It's
despite everything, I've always wished the best for you. And I really do love you as a friend.
Yeah.
I feel like we have amazing chemistry, and I see the goodness in you. And I know that like you're always fighting to bring that out more than like when you get upset or you do this and that and the stuff you regret. Like that does. I don't ever see that as who you are. I know who you are, and I love that person as a friend of mine.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the drama.
We still didn't solve what we're doing with the word crazy.
Right.
Are we using it or not using it? Because I think in a show like this, I think in a show like this, you kind of have to own it and say you're using it because you need craziness because that's what you're sort of creating here in the studio.
I love it.
A certain amount of craziness.
Yeah, and that didn't trigger me. So when he said, I'm so open, I finally was just like, but you're not, because this is what you're not open about. And then what the trigger was, the weaponizing, all of a sudden, I'm the villain.
I know, we got it. He got it too, which is the good news.
Okay.
Now let's fast
Is this what you imagine, Ethan, when you asked me to come here?
I don't know. I think I was expecting it to be more lighthearted, I guess, but this show always surprises everyone.
I was going to call you. I told you yes. I emailed you yesterday. I said I think we should get on the phone because it either doesn't work at all or it gets heavy. That's what happens with this kind of thing. And it's much better when it gets real.
I agree.
It's just much better.
I love talking. I like talking about it, and I especially like talking like with someone who like understands it, because I think the whole internet thinks I'm crazy, I'm a liar, I'm this, I'm destructive, and so like it's nice to just hear like at least you understand that there are people like me out there, which is like
I sort of specialize in people like you.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I know.
You made a career out of it.
You see a lot of folks like that. But they did well.
Yeah.
Trisha gets a lot of shit on the internet from a lot of people. And I think that it's important for more people to see you like this, because I think that I think it's a really good insight into you as a vulnerable, real, feeling, emotional person, and not just like the wrecking ball that people think you are. People just think you're a mess and that you just, are destructive and this, and you just do everything for attention.
Well, it's not unwarranted though. Like I understand why people think the things I do are for attention because I have always been an attention seeker. I've always needed attention more than most people. So I get it. I understand. I've said offensive things way in my past that will haunt me forever. You know what I mean? Like it's like I get why people don't like me. It's not like I'm not aware of it. It's just more like how do I change the perception if I ever can? I know I never will be able to fully change. People always think I'm problematic or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's part of your brand, but I do think it's
right.
It's important to see.
But
that you're more than that.
I'm just self-aware, and I know it's not unwarranted. I'm not trying to be like there's everything wrong with me. Like I know I do stuff that's problematic, but that was when I was in my 20s. You know, I'm 32 and I'm trying to like do better and stuff. But it's you know.
So